A lot of the people that we taught in Norway were immigrants. A lot of them have really humble hearts, and I grew to really love the immigrants there. A lot of them, they come from all over. Norway is just a perfect place for them to go because the government offers so much for people who really do need help. A lot of people or immigrants that I came into contact with there were a lot of Muslims that we talked to. There were a lot of Filipinos as well. I can't tell you how many Filipino girls I taught who were there to be like a nanny. They do that a lot. They come to Norway, are a nanny for a certain period of time, and they get paid so well that they're able to provide for their families in other countries. There are also a lot of Africans, surprisingly. You think in Norway everybody's going to have blonde hair and blue eyes and they're all going to be looking the same, but there's so many different demographics, people who live there, and I knew that some of the people who were immigrants, I knew that I was supposed to teach them as well. So I grew to love them as well from a lot of different countries. It was cool to think that not only was I helping people in Norway, but maybe somebody who I taught, maybe a girl I taught from the Philippines was able to go back there and tell her family about it, get the missionaries there to teach them, and the work would continue there. So it's cool that with the people from all the immigrants, it's able to spread the gospel even more. Yeah. Teaching Muslims was a really interesting experience. They're really faithful people. They are very strong in what they believe, and I admire them for that. It is a tricky situation where if you do seriously start teaching a Muslim and they're interested, they come to know of the things that you teach them, you need to get special permission, because if they return to their own country, they can be killed for believing in what you teach them, believing in Jesus Christ. With my experiences with Muslims, like I said, they were so firm in what they believed. And so often I felt like it turned into more, I don't know, it was just hard to have good communication because they were so strong in what they believed. Sometimes it would turn into more of like an argument, which I'm sure is not what either of us wanted. But there were times when I would have to avoid that. Avoid continuing the conversation and just kind of, let it go, agree to disagree, which is so hard as a missionary because you want to convert everybody, but it's so important to be respectful and do what the Savior would. He wouldn't try to force anybody or argue with them. So that was something really important when teaching Muslims. Believing in Jesus Christ is the hardest thing for Muslims. They believe he is a prophet, and that's that. You can't really convince them. But I know even though Muslims that I did teach, even though they didn't say that they believed, I know that they did feel something. And that is something really special. Because although they might not change right then, they might not, believe in Jesus Christ right then and be baptized, it does make a difference, because this is kind of a little bit deeper, but after this life, when they get that chance again, they will remember what you said. They will remember that they felt the Spirit, and making that decision will be even easier for them. So it's so worth it. Oftentimes I would be tempted if I saw a Muslim, if I knew they were Muslim and they were walking past me, I'd be so tempted to just, not even talk to them, not even say anything. But I still think it's so important to talk to everybody and give everybody that chance to learn about the gospel. I really liked teaching the youth. Surprisingly enough, both Norwegians and immigrants who were of a younger age, from what I saw, both were very interested in the gospel. They'd be willing to talk to us. A lot of the Norwegians will be excited to talk to you in English if they're youth. They really like that part about being American. They love talking about their trip to America. But I thought it was a good way to, become friends with them, show them that you are a normal person, and share something really meaningful with them, share the gospel with them. I think the youth, I think that's where like all the difference lies. I really do believe that the youth are so influential. Obviously, the youth, they're the future. That's the future of Norway. Is they're going to grow up. They're going to be the moms and the dads. They're going to have the children. And so I really liked teaching youth. And the immigrants were also really receptive. Teaching older people from middle age upward was, it depends. Obviously, everybody's different, but overall, I felt like it was a lot harder. There's something about being set in their ways, and once they've lived so long a certain way, to have a young missionary come up and say that they need to be living differently, or that what they believe, there's more to it. It's hard for them to accept. But it is possible. I think the key is to, once again, have the Spirit with you. Be patient. Be kind and respectful. And if you are those things, everybody will listen to you, really.